Welcome to the Andrew Collette Show podcast. I put a question mark specifically at the end of that because I don't know if that's going to be the name of this podcast, but at the same time, I just don't know if it's going to be the name of it. We're just starting this, and this is going to be on the main channel in the live tab. If you haven't noticed on YouTube, they've split the videos, the shorts, and the live ones. And we had a podcast on a different channel, but we want to make it more focused purely on Nintendo, which matched the brand of this channel. And I think with the YouTube's new integration of putting it on the live channel, it can actually, not interfere. And for those that want more content. And I notice a lot of the times. Oh, and by the way, my great editor Visa is here.
Hello.
And I don't know about you, Visa, but I've seen the comments. When we go, I don't know, do a video about a certain game. There's a lot of comments that further the conversation. And I used to read every comment, and I almost do now. I don't anymore. I just get too many, and I've been trying to have better work-life balance. And I just want to further that conversation more with our audience because, you can only say so much in a playthrough, and maybe there's certain things that you want to talk about, but they're not good for a video. Like maybe this one part in the game you had to grind freaking 20 hours to get 1% of the 100% completion. Yeah, we ain't talking about that long in the video, but we want to share our pains with it. Anyways, so this is going to be a Nintendo podcast, name pending. For now, we'll call it the Andrew Collette Show podcast, a Nintendo podcast. And if you'd like to support us, we do have a Patreon, which you can find in the description. This is a great way to help us, especially during times like January where we get such little revenue from YouTube. $1 tier is just mainly to support. $2 is to interact. You can submit questions and inquiries to the show, maybe even topics we talk about. $5 is where you get everything. You get the show 3 days early. So if you're a patron on Patreon, you get the show on Fridays. Well, if you're not, you get it for free on Monday. And then you get the previous stuff too. And you can get it via audio or video. And you'll also be credited at the end of our mainline videos. And then there's a $25 tier because I know some people just really like to support. And I'm only putting that on Patreon because I did have it on YouTube, but then I took it off just because, they take a bigger cut. Patreon takes a much smaller cut. But I wanted to give something to the $25 people. And if you are one of those people, then you'll be at the end of the podcast credits. That's the only way you can get at the end of the podcast credits. But let's get into what this show is about. And today we are having the Nintendo Switch Game Awards of 2022. Now, unlike all those frauds out there, which, we might do this next year, we don't know, is we actually waited for the year to end to talk about 2022. I'm just kidding. Those other people aren't frauds. We could be doing the same. I do want to give a commitment that we are going to at least try this podcast for at least a year straight. I'm hoping it goes on forever, give that content. But let's get into this. Actually, 2022 was an interesting year. Let's talk about our years a little, and then let's talk about how our winter holiday was. Everyone just had a winter holiday, and 2022. I look back on it, and it was from a work perspective, it was a lot of discovery. Like, what is this channel about and such, and what do I want to make it about? How do I want to include Visa? Include anyone else? All those things. And just pretty much, I didn't get to play everything I wanted, but I'm glad I got to play as much as I did. I do have a category. We do have one category in the Nintendo Switch 2022 awards where it's the game we wish we played the most that we didn't get. And I'm excited to talk about that. But how do you think your year was, Visa?
I think it was really good as far as work and the channel and everything. I didn't play that much. When I was making my list, I was like, oh my god, I didn't play games at all. Yeah.
Now, is it a lot of Nintendo you didn't play, or just games in general?
Games in general. Yeah. I feel like it's a weird thing. It was a weird realization for me because, I was like, I'm a gamer. I'll never stop playing games all the time. But once you work with it, I don't have that much time left. And then at the end of the day, I go do something else. Because even if I don't play the game, I edit the video so I see a lot of stuff in the game. And then I don't feel like playing the game that I'm already editing. That's sometimes it wasn't like a big year for games. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Think because of everything that happened, I think like a lot of games got delayed. So maybe that's a little of the reason to the didn't play that many games. I don't know. I want to play more games this year. Or definitely want to try to play more games.
Yeah, I hope to give you that opportunity too, especially if this podcast takes off. But I do want to say that, like, I think outside of Nintendo, I think Nintendo is fine. I think outside of Nintendo was a lot more of a banger. Like the game everyone talks about is like Elden Ring.
Yeah.
And, there's others like God of War, Horizon. Elden Ring, I feel like I knew people in real life that played that game. Like, I feel like everyone played that game except me.
I played that game. Yeah, it's not even my type of game, man.
But even Nintendo, I thought was fine. I think it just had to do with like personal taste. I know you were kind of saying that, like maybe games you weren't even interested in. Like, we'll get in. Let's just get into the games and stuff. Okay. I guess I'll talk about my winter holiday first. We'll go back and forth. Actually, no, I'll save those for a different time. I had a good holiday, but a terrible trip back home. If you were in the U.S. and you heard about the Southwest flight cancellations, that was me. They took my luggage. My stuff that I brought to my in-laws for Christmas is still in California. I don't have my stuff. All my kids' Christmas presents we still don't have. Anyways, I won't get into that. How was your holiday?
It was good. We were in the summer here. I was in the pool.
Oh, that is nice.
So that's a whole different world. Yeah. And we went to a hotel. I could, at one point I was bored because I had nothing to do. I had bad internet, but it was good to, get away from everything. So, it's hard to get bored, but it was good. It was really, really good to take it away from everything. That.
Yeah. No, I think we were both blessed to have that downtime, which is good. In the past, yeah, because I think me and you, I don't know for sure you, but I'm guessing, we've had those times where the holidays are the busiest, you like work in retail or whatever it may be, but we all go through phases. Anyways, let's launch the Nintendo Switch Game Awards for 2022. And let's go with what category? We only have 8 categories. I think it was actually pretty good. I don't want to just, put useless categories out there like best game of the year and best game direction of the year. No, we don't need that crap. We're going to talk about the good stuff here. Okay? So let's go. I think we're going to go this way. Okay, yeah, that's a good way. Let's start with the best family game of the year. Now, let me introduce this category, but I want to say, the Game Awards, the ones, the real ones that Jeff Keighley hosts, I think I never really like when they do the family game because really they should just call it the best Nintendo game because that's all they put on there.
Yeah.
But then they put one-player games on there. A lot of times the one-player game wins. And I think of family game as what's the best game that like a family can play together. And like I know Odyssey, like I think Odyssey won one year, and I guess that's fine. I guess that's 2 players, but like even that, like, there's way better multiplayer experiences, and especially with the family. Or I think Splatoon won one year. Like that's hard. I know some families have a lot of Switches, I guess, but I would bargain that most families only have one. And like,
yeah,
I don't think it's fun for the family just to watch someone play Splatoon. Anyways, for some of these categories, we're gonna have runner-ups. Some we're not going to. I'm going to, for this one, I only have one answer, and I found this award during my Christmas break, and that is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. I was astounded at how good of a family game this was. I played it earlier in the year, and I remember like chatting with you about it. I was like, I don't feel like I'm getting the full effect of this. I need to play it with some people, so I purposely didn't finish it. But then we went to the like family, and like, the more gamer people weren't there, so I was like, I guess I'm just I'll just finish it because I want to finish it before the end of the year in case we talk about it. And then my 5-year-old nephew came up and he's like, can I play? And this is like, okay, playing with kids that are 5 and under. I have a 3, 2, and baby in the house. And you try to play Mario Kart, you try to play Kirby the Forgotten Land. It is such a chore. Like they flip the controller upside down. They're like, how come I'm not turning left or right? And they kind of like, they don't know what they're doing. They're too dumb. In the nicest way, they're just too dumb. And so I was like, I guess this is multiplayer. And I gave it to the 5-year-old because he, I've had the same experience with my kids. Like, I've tried getting him to play Mario Kart and other games like that. And then as I was teaching him the controls, I realized all he has to do is move with the joystick and attack. Sure, there's other stuff you can do, but that's all you have to do to have a good time. And then his 4-year-old sister came in. My 3-year-old foster son came in. We were playing 4 players. Beat the game. They always died, but I won the game.
Yeah,
But
I beat the game and they were there.
right. But even though even though it was like that, like they weren't like legit teammates, like they were pointing out stuff, like there were some like jokes, like they weren't jokes, they were just kid things they were saying. I was feeling that in the room family vibe and having a good, that was the most fun I had with that game. And I already had fun playing it by myself, but I was just shocked at like, I just didn't think, I don't know, Ninja Turtles, I just think people like us, like, you know, they're nostalgia, but it is bringing up coming up with a new generation of kids too. And yeah, I'm just saying, like, if you need like a game to play with your kids, like even as small as 3, I guess 3-year-olds, you know, differ on like the smartness scale. I don't know where exactly mine's at, because I don't know, how do you measure that? Especially since he's my oldest. But yeah, I would strongly recommend this as the family game. Like it's just a beat 'em up. You feel like you're bringing the arcade home to you. And yeah, Shredder's Revenge wins my best family game of the year. I'm excited to play again and again with family, even the little kids. And it's actually fun and doesn't feel like a chore with them. What do you think? And once you share your thoughts on that, I'll let you share your winner for that category.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like I really enjoyed that game, and I played with friends first, but we didn't finish. And then I played alone. Then alone wasn't the same. It wasn't, even though we were just like there mashing buttons, but like I said, it's a perfect game to do it, like to play with someone who it's either like too young or it's not like super skilled with a controller, because it's easy, right? And you can do have a good time. So,
and for those
so
listening, if you're worried about it being too easy, there is like depth. They have like a whole guide on like 30 different moves you can do. I'm just saying, like, your kid won't do that. But anyways, go on.
Yeah, I feel like we don't have that type of games anymore, and that you can either like play online or play like co-op. I remember having a hard time just getting like one game to play with my wife. Just having like one game, you know, that she can play. And she's okay playing video games, but you know, like something that is fun, that's also fast, that you don't need to invest like 3 weeks playing it. Like you can, you know, finishing in one go or like 2 days or stuff like that. So that's another nice thing, because you can have like the beginning and the end of the game, right? So I feel like that's a great choice. And I also discovered mine 1 week ago. So during the holiday break too, and I got it on Xbox, but I went and, you know, it's on the Nintendo Switch. So some of the stuff that I'm gonna say I'll play on Xbox, but it's on Nintendo Switch. I made sure to look at, and it's called Song Pop Party. And it's
Song Pop Party.
It's like one of those trivia games. There's a bunch of playlists. Pretty much, there's a bunch of playlists. They will play a song, and you have like 10 seconds to figure out which song it is. They give you like 4 answers, and you have to choose which one is the one. And then I got that one, and me and Beatrice, we were just like playing that nonstop for a couple of hours, because it was super fun. You know, there is a way for you to play like 2 players. You can even use your phone. That's one of those games that like
that's nice.
Using your phone, so you know you can have, I think, 8 people like playing.
That's what I'm reading right here.
Yeah, so everyone can be on their phones and stuff like that. I feel like it was worse to play on the phone compared to the controller. I tried like with 2 controllers. You can, you know, if you have like more than one controller, people can use their controllers. But in the end, I felt like, you know, just one playing and the other one just shouting which song it was. Because the faster you go, the more points you get. So you want to, you know, be faster. And there's like online against other people or bots. And there's a bunch of playlists. There is also, you know, one thing that I included in the family game, because by default, you know, they take it away every explicit song. And then you can turn it on for them to appear on the playlist.
There's a big appeal with this that I'm reading about. And the only thing I kind of question is it says, today's top hits. I can believe that. But it also says cult classics. Do you feel like they range from like unknowable songs to knowable songs? That's pretty crazy. How many are in there? Wow, 100,000. It says. What in the world?
Yeah, there's like, we play a bunch
Holy
of different
crap.
playlists and got a bunch of different songs. I didn't know it's a problem, but one thing that happened with the game is that you keep unlocking playlists. Like you need to play and then level up some playlists to unlock another one. You need to kind of like earn the keys to unlock other playlists. Like I unlocked the 91 playlist, which is like the year I was born, just to see like the songs that was played when I was born, and try to guess it to see if like any were recognizable or not. So like we had a fun time playing it, and it was like the perfect party thing.
I'm looking at this. This is actually pretty legit, and it looks like it's not on all platforms yet either. So somehow Switch's got the heads up on it. Like it's not even on Steam. Like wow. Dang. I'm seriously gonna consider this because I gotta so for like some family, like for the first time in 6 years, I got a new Jackbox party pack, and it was mixed. And this just seems like it's not even a chance. Like you'll find something for everyone. So deep cut, dude. I'm pretty stoked for this pick you did.
So it's a perfect like party game and like family game and stuff like that. I felt like it was such a nice discovery because I just wanted like a game to chill and play, for us to like have a good time, and that was perfect.
I bet it would be more known and like streamed, but like man, the licensing with that music, like
that's
streams,
like
that's what's holding this game back.
Yeah, that's a DMCA speedrun,
right? Yeah, right. I think both our picks are pretty awesome. Yeah. Yours is definitely the more deep cut for sure. So our next one, I wonder if you have one for this. But I wanted to talk about this game because I didn't have in our video of it. I didn't have time to talk about the game because there's so much in the game. Anyways, the category is best movie stuck in a video game, and what I mean by this category is you care about the story or the cutscenes, but the video game is holding you back from seeing it. Like you have to progress through the video game. And I honestly wasn't a fan of the game. Okay, I guess my winner, there's no runner-ups for this either. All the other ones I have runner-ups for. It's Xenoblade Chronicles 3. My goodness. I was so enthralled by the story in this game. I did think the ending was a little weak. I won't spoil anything, but just a little underwhelming. But the journey was awesome. I think the gameplay just wasn't my style. Like I'm not like gonna say like, oh, it was like bad gameplay. I just know it wasn't for me. And they even like say you could like ramp down the difficulty if you just want to enjoy the story. But I'm like, well, just YouTube it then. I don't know. Like, yeah, I wasn't a fan of the gameplay, but the story was. It was like I just wish this was like an anime. I don't watch a lot of anime. I'm like, wow, this is an anime I can get behind. But I just got to do all these meaningless battles in between hand, and then I have to do the boss battles. Where after the boss battle, you beat the boss, then like it goes to cutscene with the boss like beating you up, and you're like, what?
Oh yeah,
like it happened every time, and I was like, what? Whatever. At least I'm in the movie, but yeah. So Xenoblade Chronicles, it's the best movie stuck in a video game. Just wish it was out of the video. Were you even like? Did you even understand what this topic was? What did you do for this one?
Well, I tried. Yeah, I tried like thinking of a game, and then like I said, I haven't played that many games like to feed this category. So what I could find was like Persona 5 was the one that I chose.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it was like I played like the beginning of it, and then I stopped because Pokemon came out. So and then I didn't come back to it.
Did it come out in November?
I don't remember which, but I know like I started close to Pokemon, and like our busy time. So I was like, I didn't even get too far in the story, but I had like a great time with it. And I feel like the story is great, the gameplay is good too. But at one point, if like the gameplay, like you said, like the gameplay gets in the way of the story. Like I just want to know what happens, and then I was just like rushing the battles. And just like trying to, wanting to escape the battles and stuff like that. And I enjoy the battles. Like, I enjoy the battle system, but I don't know, like, I feel like the aspect of the game is like very interesting. At one point, there's like a lot of stuff in the game. Like the problem with modern games that like you have like a lot of stuff, a lot of things that you can add that you can. Then you need to study the game to learn everything. But I feel like in a way it would be cool to have this one as a movie. Like the story is very interesting.
Right. I can totally get with you on that game because I've wanted to. I started looking up the cutscenes for that game because I've just kind of come to acceptance that I'm probably just not going to play that game, which is very sad. It's like you said, like it's not just like I've never heard like a negative thing about the gameplay in that game, and I love turn-based RPGs. But like at the same time, I don't want. I started looking it up, and then there was a point where it went to the next cutscene, and I was a little lost because like the thing with Xenoblade and like games like Persona is you get the bulk of it with the cutscenes, but there is like some stuff in between the cutscenes that are like story focused, if that makes sense. Yeah. So then you just feel like you like those ads. I think you miss out on the personality building of those characters because you're like, oh, like I'm not like in love with these guys, and I've been watching them 10 hours on YouTube, but like I wasn't there in the journey to grow with them in between the cutscenes.
Yeah.
So. All right, that was a good pick. I was honestly worried for what I did to you with that topic. So
yeah, that was the worst one.
That was. All right, let's get into the next one. The best DLC on the Nintendo Switch this year. So
yeah, I know which one.
I do have a runner-up. Yeah, this one's kind of obvious for me. My runner-up though is Mario Kart's Booster Wave Course DLC, Waves 1 through 3. I feel like they were getting better every time. Like I'm so excited for the next Mario Kart because they're working on it and they're just not putting it out because Mario Kart 8's selling bonkers. So why put it out right now? So they have all the time in the world to like just make another perfect game. And these DLC are like they could have just like did a stupid Nintendo thing where they just grab the past and slap it onto the new game with no updates or anything. But no, they update these games. They update the tracks. They like even change like what way you go on the course. They add the zero gravity parts. It's just really cool. But anyways, my best DLC is Cuphead, the delicious last course. I don't know what to say about this game that I haven't on the channel. It just feels more Cuphead, which is sometimes you want something new from a franchise, but Cuphead's still young. I just wanted more Cuphead, and they did it, and so, those are some of the best boss battles. I still play it like for videos, on my free time, especially at like the airports, which I did recently. And yeah, it's so good. Chalice is my favorite of the three, just like personality-wise, even like her personality, the show on Netflix. I'm getting our last sponsor, they didn't send me a Chalice. So I was like, oh crap, I gotta buy a Chalice. So it's actually coming in today. My Chalice figure's coming in today. I was like, that's my favorite one. They sent me 2 Mugmen, but not 1 Chalice, whatever. So I got it. Paid my own money, whatever. But yeah, not even close. Best DLC for me. It just felt like another game. Like yeah. Anyways, what about you?
Yeah, those are the 2 DLCs I played. So I chose Cuphead too. And I feel like you said, Chalice is such a good character, and it's hard when you introduce a new character, like a new way to play the game. And I feel like, Cuphead is a game that if you stop playing, you kind of like forget a little, like because it's all about like muscle memory.
Right.
So I was worried when I started playing DLC that like I was too rusty to go back, and it was going to be like too hard. But no, and it was like the perfect DLC. I think they did a fantastic job. It was almost like a Cuphead 2. If we had like more content, that would be like a Cuphead 2. So it was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't agree. Some people like put this, like they say, yeah, it's pretty much what you said. Like some people say it's like, it is like just like another Cuphead game, but it's not. It is really short on the content. Like it's DLC. So yeah, just like what you said, if they had more content, it'd probably be Cuphead 2. All right, so let's go to okay, this is a category I've been wanting to talk about because I've gotten some. Okay, I can't spoil my answer, but okay, biggest disappointment on the Nintendo Switch this year. I have have 3 nominees. I'm actually going to say the runner-ups first. Okay, Mario Strikers Battle League comes in 3rd place for me. I don't hate on this game as much as other people, which is why it's not the winner. I think there's actually a good, game underneath if you can get 2 people that invest some time into the game. And I enjoy the games I have played. But that's the thing. I think that's where it kind of falls short, is it's not, it's like they overcomplicated it a little. It's like if Smash Bros went with their next iteration, they added even more moves. No, Smash Bros has the same moves every time. It's just different with characters. The feel of the game is different. I feel like that's what they need to do with Strikers, but instead they added more controls. So, it's just not as pickup friendly. So it's just hard to really, I don't know, it's just hard to find motivation to keep playing it. Anyways, Sports Story is my 2nd place. Sports Story came out the day before Christmas, or was it 2 days before Christmas? One of the two. I love Golf Story. Love it. Came out on the Switch's first year. Dude, what a letdown, man. What a freaking letdown. What they did with this game was, instead of just focusing on golf, the problem is that they didn't just focus on golf. They have multiple games in there. The thing that made Golf Story great was it was a golf game with RPG elements with a bit of side quests. It's the reverse in this. This is side quests first. They shouldn't even call it Sports Story. They should call it Side Quest Story. I played 2 hours into the game until I played my first 9 holes of golf. That's ridiculous, dude. Ridiculous. And the whole game's like that. Well, I haven't beat it because I dropped it. Because that's the other problem, is the games feel more like mini games. Oh yeah, now it's time to play tennis. It's time to play volleyball. And it just doesn't feel as crafted. While Golf Story was their only sport. So it just felt so polished. But anyways, that's all I'll say on that. I was looking forward to it so much and was disappointed. But my biggest disappointment of the year, and before I say this, if you like this game, I'm not targeting you. I am happy you liked this game. I wanted to like this game. But, and this is a good thing about the world. With this game, okay, I'll just say it. It's Sonic Frontiers. Sonic Frontiers is my biggest disappointment. And the reason I make it such a big deal about this is when I go online, I don't know about you, Visa, but when I go online, I just find so much praise for this game. And that's one thing I want to say positive about this world is if you look at all the reviews, there's a lot of people that don't like this game. And usually when a lot of people don't like a game, the negativity on the internet is usually what takes over the talking space. So I'm proud that, we're having more positivity with this game than negativity. Or I'm okay with the negativity. It's just, the dumb negativity.
Yeah.
I can't think of an example off the top of my head, but this game was a roller coaster for me before it came out. Way before their marketing just sucked. The game was not looking promising. I don't know what they did. They must have hired some marketing genius because it was a month before the game came out. The marketing was incredible. It got everyone so excited. I was excited. They did this animation cutscene of Knuckles, what's he up to and all this stuff. And you're like, what the crap? This looks like such a serious game. Then I play it, and dude, it just feels so lifeless. I think that's the word I would describe for this game is lifeless. I don't find gameplay that intriguing. I thought the little fights with the big robot monsters, you just do the same thing over and over again. And if you fail, it's such a punishment. You got to gather all your rings again. Or there's this monster where you run on a track and you got to hit him multiple times. But if you fall off, you got to do it all over again. I don't know. For me, I the reason why I wanted to talk about this too is I've had quite a few comments say, Andrew, 100% Sonic Frontiers. And no, I won't. It probably would have been a good business investment. But, the channel is like a Venn diagram. It's what my audience wants and what I want. And sometimes, I go, the little extra mile, maybe I wouldn't on my own time 100% a game to get those stupid collectibles at the end. But I'm like, you know what? For the video, to be honest, I 100%ed it. I got those. But no, not doing this. I beat the first world, started playing the second, and it was just more of the same. And I was like, no, I can't do this. So yeah, and the better game on the Switch for Sonic is Sonic Mania. Go play that game. And I do want to kind of, not put not put down. I do want to insult the fans of this game. So now I'm targeting you. There's people. Okay, so at the Game Awards, this game was up for best like player's choice, and it was up against Genshin Impact. And when Sonic Frontiers lost, everyone's like, the Sonic Frontier people are like, oh, we lost to the bots. Oh my gosh, like no one plays Genshin Impact. Dude, Genshin Impact is huge. Stop telling yourself that. Like, just look at Google Trends and like put both of them in there. Genshin Impact, it will. I guarantee you, is beating Sonic Frontiers. I think I looked it up myself. It was a while ago though, so I can't remember the exact numbers. But no, my point with this game is people were acting like this game deserved that category. Let me just say, everyone was saying, I hope Sonic Frontiers wins Player's Choice. No one, and I mean no one, not even the biggest fans of this game, were saying, I hope it wins Game of the Year. And I think that's a big difference. For some people, Genshin Impact was their personal Game of the Year. Sonic Frontiers wasn't. Like that's what I'm saying though, is it's an okay game. Like, even the people, when I see people like it, it sounds like they think it's an okay game. They just have been dealt such crap 3D Sonic before. Like, Sonic Colors, I think, is a better... Okay, this isn't a Sonic podcast. I'll stop talking. There's better recent 3D games. I'm not saying Sonic 3D has been the best recently. Sonic Mania, best Sonic game, in my opinion. Anyways, I'm sorry. At me. I don't care. At me on Instagram. At me in the comments. Well, Vista, take it over. I'm sorry. I'm really just... That's how... I love Sonic. Anyways, go on. I gotta shut up. Go.
I'm trying to think of something to bring our Sonic fans back. They're already gone now. They're already gone by now.
I am a Sonic fan. I started watching Sonic Prime on Netflix. It's good. Anyways, go. I gotta stop. I gotta stop.
Yeah, I saw like every video on Twitter about those games that you said. I didn't play any of it, so I can not comment on it. For this one, I was trying to think of games, and then it kind of like I chose two games that I like, but it was still like a disappointment when I for what I was thinking the game was going to be. So I chose like Tunic because I don't know,
Tunic.
Yeah, because
I'm
felt
interested.
Like that the first half of the game is good. The second is not. I don't know if you play the game, but
I have not. I have. Well, yeah, I don't want to talk too much on it yet, but yeah, I want to listen to you. Yeah,
I don't want to give spoilers, but it's it's one of those things where they like give you stuff and then they take it back and then to do some stuff. And I felt like the second half of the game was just like come on, let's go. Like we're such a we're going, and then it felt like you didn't have like enough content. So they just make like one content, like just drag for a huge amount of time, for you to get to that part of the game. And so, for me, it was felt like the first half was good, and then second half was just like me, okay, now I need to finish the game. I felt like forced to play to parts where I'm not enjoying the game anymore. And it was a weird feeling of you like enjoying one game and then all of a sudden you're not enjoying it anymore. And I don't know like how many games that that gave me that feeling. Like on top of my head, like for example, when I played like Final Fantasy 15, I think it was one of the games where they put like a bunch of chapter and then there's like one really long boring chapter in the middle of the game that almost made me stop playing the game. So this game was like felt like forced to finish the game. There was some other things that I felt like it could be a little better in the game, and I was expecting so much of it. I was expecting like so much of like a Reach game. I didn't feel like it was the game I was expecting. But it's an indie game, so in a way, I don't know. And I play on Game Pass, so I didn't pay for it. I don't know if I should complain.
And then the second one, it's a lot of time.
The second one was another game that I enjoyed.
Wait. Was Tunic your first place disappointment, or
yes,
is it a runner-up? Okay.
Yeah, okay. And then I have the runner-up.
Before you go on to your next one, I'm just curious. Like, so when you say it doesn't get as fun, does it feel like the genre changes, or do you feel is it just one of those things where it just adds more to add more?
you just take away stuff for the sake of taking away stuff.
Oh,
Let's
okay,
say,
I
like-
understand. I know. Okay, I think I know exactly what you mean now.
Yeah.
It's
Let's
like the
say,
beginning of Metroid games.
Let me give.
Where they
Yeah,
just have to nerf
it's
Samus just that way they can have a new game.
perfect. Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay.
You collect stuff, and then all of a sudden, like, hey, you're not that anymore, and now you need to get everything back. And we're like, oh my god, like, while I was enjoying, like, moving
Interesting.
this way, doing this thing, and all of a sudden I need to play like 3 hours without that,
Right.
and then I had to look on the internet stuff, and then I was like exploring on my own, but then at one point, just it didn't feel like it was a good time exploring the game. So I hate that. I completely hate that feeling of you're like, I don't know, like a game gives you a double jump. I'm going to say double jump because there's no double jump as far as I
Okay.
remember. But like game gives you double jump, so you're like hours and hours playing with a double jump, and all of a sudden they are like, oh, you cannot double jump anymore. And then you feel like one step back, and then stuff that you could reach you cannot anymore, and then I don't know, it just felt like it felt like a bad choice and a way to make the game longer. So
Cool. I'm glad to hear your perspective because yeah, I hear this is probably the most common best indie game of the year.
yeah,
And I
like,
want to go back to it. So
yeah, like, and
glad
I
you're mentally
didn't,
preparing me.
I didn't see a lot of people talking about this, and I see like a lot of people praising the game, but I don't know,
Mhm.
like. But that was, I feel like it was a great game for half of it, and
I'm
then
glad you're being
Oh, sure.
brave.
yes, yeah, we were like, well, after you talk about that Sonic,
You
I
can
got
talk
the
about anything
courage.
now.
yeah, I got the courage. And the second one, I really enjoyed the game, but there was a lot of bugs, and it's not Pokemon, it's Code of the
Not
Lamb.
Pokemon.
Yeah,
Oh, Code of the Lamb. Oh, that's right. Wait, what did you play it on?
I played it on Xbox, but I know the bugs that
Okay.
I got was like
I heard they were the
everywhere.
worst on the Switch, which is why I asked. But
Yeah, I had to replay some parts of the game like a bunch of times.
ooh,
And I have to
that's pretty
close the
bad.
game. I had to close the game like at one point, like I don't know, 30 minutes. I had to close the game like 6, 7, 8 times because pretty much every time I felt like I had like 80% chance of the game freezing when I made like the code thing, which was like something you had to do all the time. So my game was freezing like all over the place, and at one point it wasn't fun anymore. Because what I had to do was like freezing all the time. I felt like I was not enjoying the game. The game's probably like amazing now, but when I played, it just, it was one of the things that I didn't know how you can launch a game like that. There was bugs all over the place. Like I didn't know how you can launch a game like that. It's sad, I know it's not. I don't want to blame people for that because the people who work on the game, they're probably not at fault here, but it was like it was a really hard experience, and the game is amazing. So it was a disappointment for how the game was when I played it.
Good pick. Because yeah, I did see people talk about those bugs a lot. So I didn't go unnoticed. But I guess that's just how good the game was that still people thought of it pretty positive. So
Yeah, I finished the game even with the bug.
Oh,
even
there
like
you go. Wow.
closing the game.
that
like, all
says
the time.
something.
Yeah,
So yeah, if you have to restart, man, dang, that sucks. But you still finished it. Dang,
yeah.
good stuff.
I
man.
had to close the game. There was parts where I just wanted to, I just wanted to count how many times I was freezing the game because it was not something that it was like, I don't know, it happened. It was like, 5 minutes later, I was closing the game again, and then trying to do the same thing like 3, 4 times. To the game decide to not freeze doing that specific action that I needed to do for the game. It was like a really weird experience.
Okay. Good answers. Like those. All right. So let's go to our next category. This one is technically not 2022. Our next two categories are 2021 categories and 2023 categories. The first, well, not 2021, but I'll just say it. It's the best game we found in 2022 that did not come out in 2022. Anyways, my runner-up is Ring Fit Adventure. This I never saw this at the stores because it sold out like crazy, especially during COVID, and it sold a lot. Just one time I was walking through Walmart, and I was having a hard time getting back into exercising after COVID. And then I just saw it, and I was like, $70. And I literally just looked up a review on my phone, and I saw some buff guy say that like he still sweats while doing it. So I was like, that's good enough for me. If $70 changes my health, that's a bargain. And I've been playing it almost every day. And, I don't do like get this toughest workout, but at least I'm moving every morning. That's good. I really appreciate this game. I can't do it now because it's in California luggage. Southwest. It's probably, I don't know. It could be lost. We'll see. Anyways, my winner is Pokemon Unite. I cannot believe Pokemon Unite, how much I love it. But the more I look back on it, I entered at the right time. Just for me. Like I'm not a really big fan of MOBAs. Fun fact, I almost got a job at Riot Games, who does League of Legends. I got to the 4th interview. But the first interview, they asked me what my rank was, and I told them I wasn't even ranked yet because I wasn't like really I tried it, but I was like, oh, I heard it's a cool company to work for, at least at the time. And I remember I just grinded that game because every one of the 4 interviews they asked me what my rank was. So like I freaking grinded. I think I got up to like silver or something. Anyways, and then I dropped it right after I didn't get the job. I've tried other MOBAs like Smite, Heroes of the Storm. Pokemon Unite, I think. Okay, so here's the thing: is I remember I downloaded it when it first came out last year because you got Zoroark, and then I stopped playing it. I was like, just in case I play it again. But it was their one. I was seeing the YouTube sponsor ads were working. There were a couple YouTubers who got sponsored by them for their 1-year anniversary, and I was like, what? I'll try it out. And they had Decidueye. And Rowlet is my favorite Pokemon. Decidueye is my 3rd favorite, but Bulbasaur is 2nd. And so I just went at it. And usually when you play your favorite character in a game, they're not like, they're not your playstyle. Maybe they're not the best. Decidueye is nowhere near the best, but dude, he is my playstyle. And I tried getting into other characters. I think if Decidueye wasn't in this game, I wouldn't be as involved in it. So like not only like I'm playing this character that fits my playstyle, my favorite of 1,000 Pokemon, and the games are only 10 minutes. I hate how MOBAs go like a freaking hour. Like I kind of wish like it'd be like a kill based thing rather than score based. But you know what? Like it's not like I'm not saying it's a perfect game. But yeah, I just have a ton of fun with this. Like this, just to say show how much I like. I'm pretty sure I didn't give you a video to work on because of this game once. I know I tried to get a video to do it, but like when I found out about it, I got hooked and like it was bad. Like, but that's why I like this game so much. I hadn't had that feeling where I would stay up till like 2 or 3 a.m. just grinding out a game. I hadn't experienced that in years. And even though it's terrible for your life, it's just kind of a fun feeling sometimes, just being so into a game. Yeah. Sure. And so Pokemon Unite kind of brought that nostalgic feeling to me. And just to say how much I like this gameplay, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet has like probably the best competitive metagame since they've gone into competitive in 2017. It's phenomenal. But dude, Pokemon Unite's winning me over it. Like that's how good I love their like I just feel like growing up I always wanted like Pokemon fighting each other, and Pokken gave me that a little. But Unite actually does a pretty good job at it. Bringing like they're not just like, giving them generic moves, they're like taking the Pokemon's actual moves and implementing them into the game. And so even though like I love competitive doubles in Pokemon Scarlet Violet, this is winning me over. Like I can't believe that. And I'm okay with it. I'm having fun. What about you, Visa?
Well, my game I'll play, it didn't release. It's again, me with the games that no one knows. Dicey Dungeons.
Ooh. I've been wanting to play this game so bad. Tell me more.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. I didn't finish the game, but I felt like for what I got, it was like amazing content. Because I play like with every character, and then I play like, I think I finished one character, but to finish the game, I need to like finish with every character like 5 times. Something like that. So I didn't do like everything, but it's such a fun game. Every character plays different. It's a really hard game to explain. So I'll try to edit something to the video. I'll try to show the game for people right now. But it's a really difficult game to explain. But pretty much you have a character. Every character plays different. It's a amazing game to play on the Switch. Another thing, I got it on the Switch. It's on Game Pass. Didn't enjoy that much on Game Pass because on the Switch you can just play handheld and then put the dice where you want. So
oh, it's touchscreen. That's pretty nice.
Screen.
I did not know that.
It's an amazing game to play touchscreen. And then when I tried to play with the controller, I didn't feel like it was the same thing. I felt like it was way better with the touchscreen.
Okay, next category is most anticipated game of the year. This one I have a lot of runner-ups. I'm going to go in order of least hype to the most hype. I'm really, really hyped about all these games. I want to be clear on that. I'm going to go through them quickly. Plucky Squire comes in at number 5 for me. It's kind of looking like a top-down Zelda game, but just an interesting note: the director artist of Pokemon, who makes like the designs and stuff, he left Pokemon to start working on this game. Yeah, James Turner. Yeah, it's kind of crazy, like to leave Pokemon to work on an indie game, but
yeah, that's true.
The pay was probably crap. He's like, I'm making the Pokemon, you're paying me crap. I don't know. It's Pokemon. Anyways, Sea of Stars is my number 4. Oh shoot, what's the game? The Messenger. So The Messenger reminds me of what you were talking about with Tunic. Not the same reason, but the second half it dropped off for me because it literally changed genre the second half. But anyways, this is the prequel to The Messenger, and it's a turn-based RPG, and I just loved the first half of The Messenger. I love turn-based RPGs. So now, like, this developer is making, like, my more favorite category. I don't know. I love platformers, too. They're kind of even, but it was like a ninja platformer. Anyways, number 3 is Silk Song. It has to come out this year, right?
Yeah.
I know they say they will.
Yeah. It's on my list. It's like Silk Song and then maybe.
And then maybe. Yeah, right.
I don't know.
Oh, man. It better come out. I'm not a Metroidvania fan, but Hollow Knight made me like I liked Hollow Knight. That's how good it is. And then number 2 for me is Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I'm not even going to say anything about it. It's obvious. Like, Breath of the Wild is my favorite Zelda game. But number 1 is actually Octopath Traveler 2. And I just adore the first one so much. I'm excited to get to know 8 different new characters. The thing is, turn-based RPGs are so common. It's really hard to see someone make something new of it and just perfect the battle system. And that's what Octopath did. And I'm not going to try to explain it, but like the battle system is just so freaking top tier that I can't wait to like fight new enemies with that battle system. Yeah, you can just see my reaction if you want it. But I actually did put an asterisk, and I'm going to cheat here a little. I know I gave it my most anticipated game of 2023, but the Nintendo thing I'm actually most anticipating is the freaking Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah.
Dude, we're cheating a little. I know this was the Game Awards, the Nintendo Switch Game Awards, but the more I look at this trailer, I've seen this trailer a lot because I have kids, so like when they like something, they want to keep seeing it a lot. And for some reason, they're gravitating towards this trailer. And I'm not even kidding. One time I was watching it, and I think a tear fell down my eye because I'm like, wow, they're actually making a video game movie. And you may be like, Andrew, we have video game movies. Yeah, I know, but like Sonic, for example. Sonic's a fine movie, but really it's a movie about Earth with video game elements, if that makes sense. I hate the trope so much where you have this whole freaking world of creativity where you can do whatever you want, and then they just bring them to Earth, and I hate it. And I thought that Mario movie was going to be that, but no, this everything about this is Mario. Or at least elements of the world is Mushroom Kingdom. And I just watch it, and I'm just like, wow, I honestly can't believe they're hitting the nail on the head so hard. And you know the worst part about it? And when I say the worst part about it, I'm really not complaining much about it, but I'm just telling you like how good they're doing this. Chris Pratt's probably the worst part about this movie. I love Chris Pratt. And I don't even think he's that bad. And I think he's going to be better when we hear him in the movie, but that's what I'm disappointed by. Like, I guess that is kind of big since it's Mario, but like, I'm just glad everything else is just so good. But anyways, I cheated there. I wanted to talk about the movie for a little. Give me your most anticipated game category, winners and runner-ups, whatever you're doing.
Yeah, my runner-up is Zelda. So that's the category where you have to include Zelda, right?
I know.
Even though like I'm not like a super huge big fan of the Breath of the Wild, I'm still excited about the game. Like I'm still excited. I still want to test it. I still want to play it. And then my winner is Silksong. If it came, I don't know. Silksong is probably my winner for the next 5 years because it's probably like
do you think it will? Do you think it will come out this year?
I think it is because during
like if you had to put money on it, if we had to put $100 right now,
then no. But
really? I would put yes.
No, I'm just joking. Yes, because during the Xbox presentation,
I was just gonna say
last
the same
year.
thing.
Yeah,
they
say like every game was going to be released like in 1 year. And then
and on Twitter, they said, does that mean Hollow Knight 2? Someone asked, does that mean Hollow Knight 2? And they said, yes.
Yeah.
The only thing that got me nervous about that is Xbox said yes and not Team Cherry.
Yeah. Probably Team Cherry was just like freaking out when they say yes, but but it needs to come out eventually. Like the game needs to get released at one point. So I don't know. Like I'm excited for that one.
I just lost a little faith actually, because as I was saying that, I was listening to an interview with James Cameron, who makes the Avatar movies, and he said, because Avatar 2's been delayed, I'm putting air quotes up here, so many times, and he was explaining why it was delayed, and he was saying it was never really delayed. The studio would just put out dates, and they wouldn't rush James Cameron, but they would just say, hey, is it ready? But no, okay, we'll delay it. So like it really wasn't delayed, it was just delayed to the public's eye. What if Xbox is doing that? Please no.
You want to take your money back?
No, I'll still keep 100 on the table. Okay, so this is an interesting one. So we only have 2 categories left. Now we have our Game of the Year category that was on the Nintendo Switch. But like we said, there are some games we missed. And this year I missed a lot of indie games that I wish I played. So I'm going to talk about my runner-ups. I was gonna have an indie game category too, but like I did like games like Shovel Knight Dig and stuff, but like I just, this is the reason why I didn't make an indie game categories. I didn't make the time for the indies. Tunic is my 4th place. This one's not an indie. Sonic Origins, just because I like 2D Sonic. It Takes Two. I really wanted to play It Takes Two really bad.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like it would be warrant a video because sometimes we put a lot of effort into our videos and then I get like nothing out of it. It's our job, so we gotta think about that. So I actually saw them sponsor some people, so I was like, sponsor me, but they didn't. My number 1 is Cult of the Lamb is the game I wish I played the most, and I really, as a content creator, I know I don't get a big audience when I'm live, but they had that feature where you could actually have people that watch you be part of your cult. Yeah. It just looked really fun. Roguelites, I like some of them, and this one looked like one I would like. So that's the game I wish I played the most this year.
It's funny that like my 2 disappointments are in the list.
I know. But I think it makes sense though, because in order, disappointment isn't the worst game. Sonic Frontiers is not the worst game. Disappointment is like what let you down the most. So it makes sense because I want to play these games really badly.
Yeah.
And so they could become big disappointments.
Yeah. And I'm curious on your like opinions once you play it. So yeah. I got like just 2 games for this category, and there are both Kirby games. There.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I just put like Kirby Dream Buffet because I felt like that one. It looked like a super fun game that you could play like 1 week and then that's it. But I felt like I always ask for those type of games, so then I didn't play it. Right.
Yeah.
So I wish I play it once, like in the hype of that week. I'm like, yeah, let's play this game, let's have fun, and then move on. But I didn't play that one. And then I think I was
gonna get that, but then Unite came in my life, and that was the problem. But yeah, go on.
And then the Kirby and the Forgotten Land. I don't know. That game just feels fun, and then you're playing right now, so
yeah,
you probably
98%
know more
done with
about it. Yeah. So, but it feels like I don't know, like a game that I wish I played.
Yeah, something I don't see people talk about with Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Like I'm currently playing through it right now. I'm so close to 100%ing it. I just see a lot of praise for it, and I don't want to I just want to temper expectations because it is really good. I just think as adults, I don't know if people just suck. I don't know how people suck it up, but like Kirby is such a kid game at first. I mean, it's always a kid game. Like the end game stuff gets like adult hard, at least to an extent. Like there's things you can do to like make it easier and stuff, but you know what I mean if you played to the end. But yeah, I just want like anyone that wants to try that game, I just say like, you gotta make sure like just remember like you're playing kid levels the first 2 hours or first hour or two. It depends on how much you do. Because then the level design gets really dang good. And the boss fights. It's probably my favorite game when it comes to boss fights this year. So,
Oh, nice. Amazing.
yeah, no, good boss fights for sure. Yeah, you'll have to get on my account and play it.
Yeah, it's perfect.
So we can have a podcast about it.
Yeah, that's it.
So-
I need it. Yeah. I'll put it on my list.
It probably only takes like 10 hours to beat if you just like do no completion. So,
Oh, that's perfect. That's one of the reasons I like chose like 2 games, because I always like, I don't know. I need like games that I can start and
Yeah.
finish, have fun, and then that's it. So,
even completion's not too bad. It's like 30 hours, I think. It's like what my playtime's about to reach. Yeah, I don't know. You'll get like what you want to do when you try it. So, all right, the game of the year for the Nintendo Switch Awards 2022. Oh my goodness, I got some nominees here. I got some nominees. I got.
you should say like the nominees and then one.
Oh, I should say. Okay, I only actually got 2
Yeah.
nominees. I had
Okay,
an
then,
honorable
yeah.
mention, the Cuphead DLC. That's not really a game. But even if it was a game, it would not be my game of the year. Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope is a nominee. And then Pokemon Legends Arceus. Which one do you think it is?
That I think it's Pokemon.
It is Pokemon. Pokemon Legends Arceus is my game of the year. Man, I personally feel like a lot of people since Scarlet and Violet have come out that they're like ripping on this game just because of recency bias. Man, after you play Scarlet and Violet, I went back to Legends Arceus. And like, yes, like I know like if you've already beaten everything, like that's like almost every game, people. Like stop saying like, I can't stand when people say, oh, I went back to it and like just had nothing to do. Well, yeah, because you got 200 hours in it.
Yeah.
You ran out of stuff to do. That's how good it is. But no, Pokemon Legends Arceus. Okay, Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope. Great game. I really did. I think it is my second favorite game of the year. That game's really made for me too. But anyways, I won't talk about it too much. I did want to say the difference between Scarlet Violet, and we're gonna have a Scarlet Violet podcast probably next week, featuring Keegan J and Antler Boy, friends of the show. But Scarlet Violet, don't get me wrong, I had a lot of fun with it. It just definitely did disappoint more, and I'm honestly not going back to it as much. The only reason I would go back to it is for competitive battles, and Pokemon Unite has taken that away. I feel like the when you go to Legends Arceus, the lands and like it's beautiful. It's pretty beautiful, and I can't believe it's the same team that made both games, or at least the same developer company. I was not expecting much from Legends Arceus. Every time they say Legends Arceus, they'd bring up Game Freak, and I'm like, yeah, guys, you're getting hyped for nothing. And man, was I blown away. And the biggest reason I think this game gets forgotten too because it came out in February. I've not felt this kind of magic from a video game. I'm not even exaggerating. Probably since I played Pokemon Blue as a kid, and that is so special to me. I couldn't believe it. And I hate Pokemon Go. I don't play Pokemon Go. I hate Pokemon Let's Go. So this game should not have worked for me. But it did. It's so smooth. If you play both Legends Arceus and Scarlet Violet in the same day, Legends Arceus goes into battle so smoothly, while like Scarlet Violet feels so chunky. What they really should have done, and I know this isn't going to make business sense, they're not going to do it, is if they combine the best of those games and put it into one, it would have been better. Like Legends Arceus, for example, like the battling is my favorite part of Pokemon, and like that's like probably one of the worst parts of the game.
Yeah.
But there's epicness. Like Vola was so epic, dude, and like the story's not like, the story's better than most. I don't know. It gave you a reason to do stuff, and It's the second Pokedex I've completed, but it's the first Pokedex I've wanted to complete. Like one I kind of forced myself just because I was like, oh, like I'm a YouTuber. I felt like there was this time like where I had to like justify myself that I was like a real Pokemon fan. That was stupid. I forced myself to get everything in Sword Shield, but I got the shiny charm now though. Oh, actually, wait, yeah, Scarlet Violet's the third Pokedex I completed. But anyways, yeah, dude, I this game is just, it feels so good. I really, really wish they brought that smoothness to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Like, traversing is so much more fun on Braviary than gliding with Koraidon or Miraidon. I'm just going to say it again, the magic. Like, I just felt I was, like, in a Pokemon world, and you'd go to, like, you find Pokemon in their habitats that environmentally made sense. Like, Scarlet Violet, I'm just comparing a lot because I just want people to know, like, what magic I'm talking about. It's like, yeah, you find like a Jolteon just in the grass, like, what? Like, I don't know, like the environments don't feel as alive, if you get what I mean. I thought they implemented the ride Pokemon really well. The whole, like old, when Pokemon and humans didn't get along. Man, I just can't. I just remember. I think I need to journal it or something because you can forget feelings, and it just was such a magical experience. Just like I could not put the game down. I wanted to do everything, and I did force myself to complete the Pokedex, but that was like for like I think only 6 remaining Pokemon. Usually, like I get tired of filling out the Pokedex when I'm like 200 out of 400. This I was like 394 out of 400, and I was like, okay, I'm tired of doing this now. That's incredible, especially to me who does not like catching much in a game. So, Pokemon Legends Arceus, you take it. Thank you for giving me such a magical time. What about you, Visa?
So I put 2 in this category, just to have a runner-up. So my runner-up is actually like the Shredder's Revenge. So yeah, and then you guess the winner.
Is it Legends Arceus?
Yes, he's the one that I felt, and everything you said. Like,
as you're talking, I'm thinking of more reasons, when like you just hear that shiny sound, like what a tingle that sends down your body. Anyways, I'll let you go on because I think you're gonna bring up stuff I didn't bring up.
Yeah,
see, I stole your thunder.
Yeah, but like just the fact that at one point I was just like walking around and just doing that. I just want to play the game. I just want to like fly around and keep like looking at the Pokemon. And then if I found a shiny, then like the sparkle and the sound, so you could always be ready to find something, and so you're still discovering, and
that crouch feels so real too. You like instant go to crouch,
and like, and I feel like it was a game that I could play hours. Scarlet and Violet, because you have to compare the two, right?
Right. Yeah.
It's a game that when I was playing, I felt like, okay, this game is so much fun. This game is so much fun. I was having a lot of fun playing it, and then I was like, there's a lot of bugs and things with the frame rate dropping to 2 and the game like feeling super bad. But you get used to it because you're playing like hours and hours. Once you go out of the game, do something else and play something else, going back to it, it was bad because you need to adjust your brain again to be like, oh my god, I'm playing this thing in like 5 FPS, and that didn't happen with Legend Arceus. So for a long time, that was my game to like, I want to play something, I don't know what. Let me just play here. Let me just run around here. Let's see if I can find a shiny. Let's just fly around and then and check and then do stuff. So, and like you said, when I started playing, it was like the feeling. And I got spoiled because I edited the video. So I knew everything that was going to happen in the game. And the game was still fun. Like, it was still fun to discover. Like, once I got it, I was playing through the night, and then I was like, okay, this game is super fun. Just catching Pokemon. Just, like, throwing the Pokeballs, not having to, enter the battle. So that's why, like, leading the Pokedex was so fun. Because it was so, like, I don't want to say easy, but it was, like,
seamless.
The flow of it was, like, perfect. You went to... Especially in the beginning when you still have a lot of Pokemon to catch, you just went exploring and then just throwing Pokemon like crazy. and the catching stuff. While I don't know, like Scarlet and Violet, it just felt like again, like, if the game was perfect without those issues, because still feel like it's a super fun game, would be the game of the year. But I think you cannot take the issues away. I feel like the Arceus like ran way better, and I felt like going back to the game way more. And as like you said, once you complete the game, there's nothing you can do. So you could pretty much like what you can do once you complete the Pokemon game, explore, maybe catch shinies. So that's what you have to do, right? And then for Scarlet and Violet, I don't feel like that much because the game doesn't feel like that great to explore. Like I said, like flying with the breviary, it's way better. You just jump high in the sky and just start flying. Well, in the other one, I think you just glide, right? If you're not just like
you go down
flying.
pretty fast too.
Yeah, and you go down pretty fast too. So the exploration
really quick, I want to
interrupt
because something with that, something I find so frustrating with. I want to make clear, I like Scarlet Violet. Like I had a good time.
Yeah.
Like I wish the multiplayer aspect was in Arceus. Like that would have made it better. Like, but anyways, something that frustrates me so much that I've seen when I've played the two games close to each other is in Scarlet Violet, I'll be gliding on whichever legendary, and you see a Pokemon, you drop down, it's gone. It's gone. I'm like, what the crap? Where'd you go? And it happens multiple times. Arceus doesn't do that. You see a Pokemon because, oh man, they let you see the ground so good when you're on Braviary, and it's still there.
Yeah, it's true.
I thought I would never have to point out that a Pokemon is still there when you land. Like this. But
yeah, that's
true. They just take. It's so frustrating, dude. It's so. Anyways, go on. I had to do that. Mention that before I forgot.
Yeah, I think that was it. I think you said like everything that I was thinking about the game. Say about the game, and it's just like it felt like the feeling of playing a new Pokemon game, like something different, but it's still in the Pokemon that we all love. So, and I think Arceus gave me more of that than Scarlet and Violet.
I do remember giving you the script and footage for that game because you mentioned this earlier, and I think I gave like a small like half sentence apology because I didn't know how else to say it, but I was like, man, I feel like I legit in the inside, just because of the experience I had, was so worried I just like ruined yours. But to hear that you still like got that much enjoyment out of it, like that's incredible.
Yes. Yeah.
So I feel like we're the only, so it's official. The Andrew Collette show crew of, a massive 2 people proves Pokemon Legends Arceus as their game of the year. We're probably the only outlet that's going to do that. I mean, like one thing was we did restrict everything it had to be on the Nintendo Switch. But even for those that did just have it on the Nintendo Switch, I really do think people have forgotten about this game. Or I really think they just forgot that feeling. Yeah. The feelings are easy to forget, especially since we have dopamine hits all the time, every day. But yeah, I 100% don't even second guess that choice. So yeah, just do it again. It gave me faith in Game Freak, and then Scarlet Violet kind of reminded me what Game Freak is. Yeah. But we'll get more into Scarlet Violet probably next week. We're gonna have a big deep dive discussion. But yeah, anyways, that concludes the Andrew Collette Show's podcast Game Awards of 2022 for the Nintendo Switch. Remember, if you've made it this far, you can listen to our podcasts on most podcast services that you know of. If you want to get it 3 days early, consider joining the $5 tier. Or if you want to submit questions and inquiries, there's the $2 tier. Just Patreon would really be supportive, especially this time of year. And I really do want to keep this going. I just really want to connect with, get more into these games a little, and actually talk about the games. I know a lot of like what's going to make us different from other podcasts is I think I want to do more game focused podcasts. Like, we'll have some in between stuff because we obviously can't cover a game every week. Like we got work and stuff, like script writing and all that stuff, editing. But at least like a couple times a month. Like, I think this month we're going to do Kirby the Forgotten Land and Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And then, we're going to have some great ones. throughout the year. So yeah, please consider supporting if you can. But otherwise, if you're listening, glad we can give you a hour plus of entertainment. I have a feeling the Pokemon Scarlet Violet one's going to go on a few hours. So there's a lot to say about that game. Really good and really bad. And I'm really excited to talk about it. But yeah, you all have a good one. Thanks.